Hey, great night to you all. I trust that you're all able to wake up super grateful to be alive again another day in this experience. And I trust that you've all been able to set that high vibe for yourself by telling yourself all of those amazing things that you needed to hear. Like you're strong, you're smart, you're beautiful, you are capable, and you're going to flow. Yeah. And all the other great things if you need to. Yeah, like you're amazing and, But that you're going to flow, and you're going to flow from that state like water over rocks with ease and great force, yet least effort. Yes. So why am I out here tonight? Well, because I was going to go to the event over at McAllen's Pub, the One Love, but plans changed. I'm home, so I have some time, so I figured I may as well come out here and drop the truth that everybody's asking me for. Yes. I love it when I get feedback. Number one, I love it when people tell me that the knowledge that I share really changed their perspective. I love that. And I love that they're seeing better results in their life. Yes. So if there's anything that y'all want to know, personally, you just holler. Yeah. Send me a message and I'll come out and do a live about it. But there were some questions asked. Tobi, isn't it selfish when you operate the way that you do, like it's all about you? No, because guess what? You're living in your skin, nobody else's. You have to own you and what you want to feel in your life. That's not dependent on any person, place, or thing. So, listen, I was a people pleaser all my life, just like everybody else was trained to be, okay? Our first thing that we were scared of was the disapproval of our parents and punishment, okay? Well, I'm not worried about the disapproval or punishment of anybody. Nobody could punish me more than I've already punished myself in my life. When I tell everybody that I had to become the person that I needed most in my life, that is 100% truth. Just like every other word that I breathe, because I must. My body depends on it. Literally. Keeps me strong. Keeps my vessel capable. Keeps me flowing daily and knowing. Flowing and knowing. Simple. That's how I do. But no, it's not selfish to take care of you. And to stand firm in what you want. Nobody else is going to do that for you. No. There's nobody on this planet that will love you the way that you can love yourself. No. Nobody can give you what you need but you. Because nobody knows what you need but you. So if you don't take that time for you and love you and check for you, who the fuck is? Nobody. Because they have to check for themselves. You see? So no, it's not selfish. But when you can love yourself back to life and heal all of the inflictions of life, you see, it's those inflictions every time you got hurt in life. You got a little spiritual cut. And your energy leaks out from that wound. Unless you heal it up. Well, the wounds are those emotional baggage of, oh, well, this happened to me. And oh, that happened to me. Okay, but guess what? It no longer exists today. Seal that wound by sending it love. Give yourself the love that you needed during that event. That's how you heal your wounds. Well, if you don't take time for you and you don't set those boundaries to the world and you don't rejuvenate you, who's fixing those wounds that you're leaking out all your energy? Nobody. My book, Budgeting Your Energetic Bank, and I'm looking because I've moved stuff around in my spot. So you know what? I'm going to grab a copy because, honestly, you got to really know what has hurt you to know where your energy is leaking out of you. Okay? Because it's all of these things that have hurt you in your life that are making you lose your energy. Because to hold all of that shit, you're burning energy. Whether you realize it or not. See, I'm moving shit around in my place. So, let me find it here. Oh, there's that copy there. Hold on. Let I'm just checking in my books here because there we go. You got to know where you're hurt to know where you're leaking out your energy. My ancient keys dropped. I tell you, I'm moving around my stuff. So, when I talk about you have to deal with you and really fix your vessel, it's not selfish at all. You see, and this is what I've had to do. I've had to go within and I had to fix my vessel because where was I leaking out my energy? What was it that was making me sick all the time? Because I've been sick since I was a little girl. Always sick. Always something. Well, it was my trauma. It was my whatever I had to live that induced all of this distortion and illness all my life. You know, I talked to everybody about coming back from total organ failure, septic shock, refusing amputation of my hand and foot, surviving an arterial heart attack that left me with angina 3 years ago that kills people in 20 minutes. Mine lasted over an hour and a half, and I survived it, and I came home and I took care of myself. I did not stay in the hospital. No, I didn't. So I had to love myself back to life after that at home. Well, my choice. Okay? Because I knew that nobody in the hospital understands what I've already lived and come back from. They don't know how my body works. It doesn't work the same as everybody else's. No. And I respect that about me. Well, if I don't put the focus on me, that is not being selfish. That is being self-nurturing, self-loving, self-respectful. And you got to fix your vessel to really hold that energetic power that flows through you most naturally. Because your energy doesn't flow through you if you're leaking it out like a strainer to everybody and everything. How does that happen? By the wounds that you choose not to seal in your vessel. So everything that hurt you in your lifetime, well, you got to look at those things. And it sounds very crazy when I tell you that every single thing that hurt you actually helped you. It's not a joke. And when I can look at things that have happened to me in my life that actually drove me into the distortional state, and all of the things that made me sick all my life, well, with the knowing that I have now, I know why I was sick. And I know the parts of my body that was bucking, exactly why that happened to me. That's the kind of inner work that I've done on myself. But do you really think that I would have that reflection, insight, and knowing about everything and how whatever hurt me, I turned it into helping me if I didn't take time for me? Hey, Lily, love you. Literally. So no, it's not selfish to take the time for you, to sit with you. And you know what? I do it every day. There's not one day that doesn't go by where I don't sit here in silence. I don't play music in my place. I don't play the TV in my place. My place is peaceful. Literally. I can hear right now my fridge humming. That's how quiet it is in my place. Well, I take that time for me no matter what. No matter what I've got to live, that's fine. But you know, everybody waits. Oh, I'll be okay when. I'll be okay if. Or once I have this. Or once I am this. Or once I am that, I'll be okay. No. Taking time for you every day and paying yourself first, sealing your vessel so that you can hold your energetic flow. Make sure you're not leaking it out where it doesn't need to leak out. You make sure that that frequency is flowing through you, fueling and feeding all of your organs to its highest capacity. And nothing can distort that. You cannot get sick. I've been asked so much lately. Toby, really, you mentioned the other time, oh, you don't get sick. It's been years I'm listening to you, and I never see you sick. Exactly, because my frequency does not allow it. Yes, my nose may have happened, but it didn't go through to my brain. No, it didn't, because the frequency didn't allow it. You see? When you're in your flow and you fix your vessel and you are here breathing intentionally and on purpose, you have to respect that too. You see? So, it's your flow of energy that flows through you, yes. But if you are walking around as a wounded warrior and you are walking around as somebody who is really inflicted by their past, well, then all you're doing is you're burning all your fuel, carrying all of that. That's why I tell people to unhook it. So, that was another question. Somebody asked me, Toby, how do you really unhook that emotional U-Haul you talk about? Well, you got to look at what you're storing and carrying around. You got to look at it. You got to know, and nobody knows but you. Nobody knows. And oftentimes, ask yourself this one question, and you'll know what's in your U-Haul. What are all the things that I hide from myself and the world? That's your emotional U-Haul. All the things that if you're scared if you speak up, you'll be punished for. All the things that you speak up, that you're scared to speak up about because you're scared of disapproval. These are the things that you're carrying around that are burning your fuel. That's what you're leaking your energy to. Literally. If you are carrying around grudges, like you have this anger for somebody for something that they did 10 years ago and you can't get over it, well, you're poisoning your own vessel and you're burning your own energy by holding on to that. Even if it's not in your conscious brain daily. It's a part of you. And anytime their name is mentioned or something's mentioned, you have a reaction. That is in your U-Haul. You got to empty. Oh, yeah. Oh, yeah. Because it doesn't matter what I've lived. I have zero resentment to anything that I've ever lived, I've ever done, any person I've had to react. Nothing. There's zero resentment, zero anger for people, none of that. I'm at peace with myself in completion. And that's how I acquired the peace that surpasses the human understanding. You see? I want you to hear that again. The peace that surpasses human understanding. Why? Because understanding is actually being voluntary to step out of your power to comply. Human understanding. Yeah, and that comes, boom, at your belief system. It blocks your third eye. And it blocks your capacity to self-reflect and have your own insight because you're being governed by what everybody else believed for you. So this is the blockage that has to be dissolved to acquire the peace that surpasses human understanding. And in flowing in that state, your body is on auto heal. Like one of my mentees noticed that and said that to me. Yes. Toby, no matter what happens to you, your body's like always on auto heal. Yes, I love her for telling me that. It stuck with me. I said, that's, in myself, I was like, yeah, that's the first time somebody had ever actually noticed something like that and said it to me. So I'm forever grateful that she did, because it was like a light bulb moment went on in my brain. And I was like, yes, that's very true. But the way she said it, I'll remember that until my last breath. Literally. Literally. I love her to death. I love her. She's great. But the way she said it to me, take shit. I'm telling you, that'll stick with me. But yes, but for your body to always be on that like auto heal mode, well, you cannot have any distortions in your vessel. And that is the true state of the highest potential of your being. Auto heal. When you are in your flow state. Things happen to us, but it's how quickly can you bounce back from it. So therefore, no. Being self-aware, self-respectful, self-loving is not selfish. No. Nobody else is doing that for you. If you're not doing that for you, nobody is. And you're also setting the standard of how others treat you also. No. Anyway, my book, Budgeting Your Energetic Bank, Managing Your True Wealth. Everybody is aware how to budget their finances. And their finances usually run their life. But the truest wealth is your energy. Okay? That's your first thing that you need to budget. Where are you putting it? Are you putting it in places that you're not feeling full walking away from? Because that's going to be your true sign of whether it's a withdrawal or a deposit in your own being. Energetically first. Because guess what? Me, I'll give you an example. I love what I do. So therefore, it's not work. Like, I had a great chat with somebody over at the residence. And it was somebody who works there. And she said to me, Tobi, how much do you work? And I said, I don't work. And she looked at me. And she literally was like, what? She said, Tobi, you're here 5 days a week. What do you mean you don't work? I said, I don't work. And she could not fathom it. Threw her right off. She said, could you please explain that? And what I told her is this. I love what I do. I deliver love so that those around me can feel the love, and it rejuvenates their soul, no matter what they're living. That kind of shit that I do, it's priceless, and the effects are priceless too. But I love what I do. So I am very choosy about what I do. Simple. And if I do not love what I do, I do not fucking do it. Simple. Why? Because I would be lying to myself and forcing something on myself that kills my joy. So therefore, it kills me. You see the correlation? No, I love what I do. I do not work. No, I don't. I am a love delivery service. I am bringing my life force. I work with my life force and maintain it. That is the work that I do, is maintaining my flow and frequency. But at this point, hey, it doesn't take much. I got to pay myself first. As soon as I open my eyes, and I flow from there. But budgeting your energetic bank is real. If you don't know where, okay. Yes, boss. Okay. I'm being told to explain it to you all like this. You know when you want to really see where you're spending all your money? You're going to sit down and you're going to look at like your bank statement or your credit card statement, and you're going to take a look at every transaction. Because that's where your money goes. Every single transaction. Well, if you wake up tired and you go to bed exhausted, and that cycle has started. You better sit down and take a look at your energetic statements. What does that mean? Well, where do you pay attention? Do you pay attention to you first? Are you making sure that your capital wealth is flowing like at its capital highest potential daily before you start paying your attention, which is your energetic force, to people, places, and things? Because you got to pay yourself first to really manage your true wealth. Yeah. Well, the same way you're going to watch where you're putting your money, you got to watch where you're putting your energy. That's your life force. Why? Well, because do you know that everywhere that you have put your life force, you are making a cord to, a connection to? Every interaction is a cord. Well, once those cords are made, well, guess what? Those are also leaks of your energy. To be the whole healed vessel and to fix all the wounds first and then be able to, okay, yeah, I get it. All right. I'm being told to show you all something. Hold on. I got to get a bucket for this one. I got to get a bucket for this one. Actually, I'll get a bowl. I was told I got to give you all a visual. You're great, Toby. Oh, I love you, Lily. I got to show you all a visual. Okay? So let's say this is our vessel and we contain all of that water. All right, so let's say when you were small, let's say from here, 0 to 5. So let's say the first two rungs. Oh, it doesn't show you guys that way. Let me get a marker. Yes, there's a marker right here. All right, so let's say here, 0 to 5. Okay, let's go 0 to 5. And then let's say 6 to 10. And then let's say 11 to 15. All right. So, all right. Now, I always like to talk to people about being a fountain, right? So, let's say you're a fountain. But let's say the foundation of your fountain is cracked. Are you going to spew? No. Because it's a fountain, so there's tubing and hosing and all kinds of shit that goes through it to make it spew. Well, if all of the stuff to make that work is busted, it's not going to work, right? The fountain won't work. You got to go in there, you got to unclog the fountain, you got to redo whatever, and just so that it'll spew again. Well, that's like your own being. I'm going to show you something. Let's say this is your vessel. So you got 0 to 5, you got 6 to 10, you got 11 to 15. All right. Well, let's say, actually, okay, I need a pin. To make this really effective, let me get a pin. 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 Do I have any? I must. I'm telling you, I'm moving stuff around in my place, getting rid of things, and now it's like I can't find things, you know? I must have a pin around here somewhere. Okay, well, I can't show them this unless I have a pin. So, let's find a pin. Actually, that's crazy that I don't have a pin. Oh, shoot. Sorry, guys. You know what? I don't want to make a big hole though right away. So let's see. Let's see if I've got a pin in here. Because a pin is going to really make it, you're going to really get it with a pin. Because if I make cuts in it, it's going to be too big. Actually, let me just see if I've got something hung up somewhere that I can just unpin. Yeah. All right. This will work. There we go. Okay, I found a pin. Yeah, I found a pin. So I'm going to show you all this. All right, so now, who knows the story of the nails? About going to the fence, putting in the nail, and taking it out. And then the damage is done. Well, if you want to really understand your leaks from energy, let's say you had a childhood trauma. So between 0 and 5. Okay? Now let's say you had another one between 6 and 10. Okay? So these are little leaks. Let's say you got another one. These are pinhole pokes. Well, this is how people walk around daily leaking because they haven't fixed those little trauma points. Trauma points? Trauma points. So every piece of trauma is like a poke hole in your vessel. What happens when you try to put pressure to come through? Look at that. You see that? But you don't realize it because you're just dripping. You're not coming out like that. You see the flow coming out? Well, every time you put pressure on your being, when you have these kind of poke holes, look what happens. Can you see it in there? Actually, you put pressure, it spews. Well, unless you fix your vessel, every time you put pressure on yourself, that's how your energy spews out. If you're not self-aware and focused on you, you don't even realize it. You just don't know why every time you get mad, you feel totally depleted. It takes you 3 days to come back from every time you feel the pressure. Well, because you deplete your energetic bank. And you run on a depletion because you haven't fixed the holes, which are the trauma points. I love that. Very good example. But it's true. And we just drip like this, and we think, oh, it's okay. It's okay. But the minute you feel pressure in your life, you're spewing like that. And you don't understand why you feel the way you do. And why you always feel like you're tired. You can't think straight. You feel sick. You make excuses for yourself. Well, that's why. So this is why you got to go in and look at you and look at all of those trauma points and fix them. How do you fix them? You give yourself the love that you needed from others that you did not get in order to heal that. Because half the time, when we have lived any trauma, we have not been comforted. We were told to get over it, suck it up. Do you want a reason to cry? Okay? Now, this is why you have to do the work. Well, if you're sitting there giving all your time and energy to everybody else and spewing every time you got a little bit of pressure, soon, what happens? You end up more empty and more empty and more empty. Well, that's the farthest thing from loving yourself or holding the capacity of love. And these things have happened to us so far back in our life that we aren't even thinking about them. Yes, because your brain is telling you, you know what? Don't even think about it. I'll lock that out of your mind because you can't handle that. I know what it does to you. And your body's job is to keep you regulated. So it's going to keep memories away from you that hurt you. And you're going to keep leaking from those wounds if you do not go in there and fix it. Every single person. How do I know? Because I had to go in there and fix those leaks. That's why I hold the frequency that I do. Because I'm not leaking and spewing my energy out every time there's pressure on me. There's pressure everywhere in life. But I don't need to react to it. I'm an overflowing vessel. And what I attract is people that need the love that I hold. You see? So it's not hard to do what I do or be who I am. No, not at all. Because I'm not spewing my energy out. And I don't do things that kill my joy. Because that is the only thing that will extend your telomeres on the end of your DNA strands is joy. And staying in the state of it. Well, I flow a little higher than that frequency. So I don't have to worry about maintaining a joyful state. No. I maintain an overflow of an all-knowing love. Infinite, universal. I don't need to maintain a state of joy. That's a lowered frequency that I hold in my vessel. I've acquired the peace that surpasses all understanding by dissolving the ego. Well, you only acquire the capacity to dissolve the ego when you've fixed your vessel. Because in your root, if you don't go and fix your vessel, well, then you're insecure, you're running on fear. Because that's the first thing you got to do, is go and dismantle the fear. Fear of what? Disapproval of others. Fear of punishment. Those are the first two fears we're installed with. Those are the first two things you got to dismantle. It doesn't matter who disapproves. It doesn't matter, because when you're flowing from the state of love, well, it's only the unloving that disapprove. Well, be the example of what love is. And it's the fiercest force in the entirety of existence. And that's what I deliver. Because that is my overflowing state. Why? Because I've done the work to patch my vessel. Yes. That was a part of loving myself back to life in ICU. Yeah. And it took me years to do it completely, to crown activate. You see? 2012, total organ failure, septic shock. 2021, crown activation. That's how long I had to work at it. You see, a lot of people would have spent all those years acquiring $1 million. No, I was acquiring more life and crown activation. On purpose, with intention. Nothing but. My life depended on it. I had to go into that mode of full flow. My life depended on it. I needed that instant healing. Yes, and that's why I did it, because nothing was worth more to me than that instant healing capacity once you hit that peace and the all-knowing state. Instant healing. And that's what, see, the state that my mentee and great friend, I love her dearly, that she said to me is like, your body's on auto heal. Yes, because of the overflowing energetic flow and full biofield. When I tell you all that you are all a ball of bouncing love and joy, you really are. That's not just a metaphor or something that I'm just telling you all. But you cannot bounce around as a ball of love and joy if that big ball of energy that is supposed to protect you and surround you is not even there because you're leaking all your energy out through there. It can't flow through you and make that full ball around you if you're leaking your energy from past wounds, grudges, getting angry, whole thing being angry from things that are no longer existent. You're poisoning yourself doing that. People don't realize that. Well, I had to walk it, learn it. I'm a testimony of loving myself back to life. And I walk around as that ball of love and joy. And always really in a peaceful state within. There's no matter what I say, no matter what I do, how frustrated I can get, how whatever I see and it irks me and I speak it, it's no longer in my vessel. I stay at peace underneath it all at all times. Yeah. Even when I have to pop off, I'm still at peace. And that's what makes it so fucking powerful. And that's neutrality. That's not seeing there's no good or bad. With the law of relativity, that was another question, thank you. Law of relativity. Everybody says, well, this is good and this is bad. Actually, no, everything is working in your highest good should you allow it to. And it's uniquely for you. The law of relativity states there is no good or bad. No, everything that we live is unique to you and your learning. So everything that you were supposed to live, you have up until now. Yes, every single thing. It was unique to your learning. Yes. So oftentimes we hold wounds going, oh, well, if this didn't happen to me, if that didn't happen to me, I'd be so much further. No, you are exactly where you are meant to be right now. We are experiencing the biggest shift in humanity. Literally. The energies are proving it. Well, life is shifting. We're going back to a love-based operational system, and anything that cannot sustain the frequency of love or that was not built from it is going to fall and it's going to crumble because love is washing away the wickedness. Frequency-wise, energetics. So, yes, best show ever. People must listen and syntonize your channel. Syntonize. I'm not sure what you meant by syntonize your channel, but it's true though. People really have to. Energetics is here. It's always been. No, I love you, Lily, and you know what? I think you're amazing. And you didn't put your link for your canne vibrationnel in the chat the last time. Put it in the chat. Syntonizer. You have to put your link in the chat, please, for them to check out your book. Parce que, sais-tu quoi? Moi, je parle français, mais je peux pas faire mes lives en français. Parce que je vais perdre mes mots. Je le sais déjà. Je parle, mais à un moment donné, ça bloque. Tu sais? Mais, laisse ta link pour ton carnet vibrationnel, s'il te plaît. I love you. Yes. Guys, anybody who speaks French, check out her workbook. It's a vibrational chart workbook. Yes, please. But, so many questions have been asked about the energetics and how do you leak your energy out? And is it really selfish when you're doing that self-care? No, listen, if you're not loving you, nobody is. Because they can't even love themselves half the time. Straight up. And if they can't love themselves, they sure as fuck can't love you. So you got to love you. You got to respect you. You got to take that time for you. You got to budget your energetic bank. Manage your true wealth because you are a walking ball of love and joy that is rich. Rich in capacity, rich in knowing, rich in ability, and Everybody thinks being rich is monetary. No, fuck no, you can't buy what I've acquired. You can't buy it. What I have, you cannot buy. You cannot walk into a store and buy crown activation. No, you can't. You can't. Not for trillions of dollars. So what I've done for me is priceless. Priceless. But it also took me 9 years to do it. So no matter what I was living or doing or experiencing, I had a goal that I needed to hit. And that was crown activation for instant healing. Because I had fixed my vessel along the way to climb Jacob's ladder. Well, once I hit that true pot of gold at the end of the rainbow, because every chakra center is associated with a color, and it produces your auric field because we're all human, light being first, okay? So that, it's like a rainbow. All your chakras, it's like a rainbow. Well, your true pot of gold at the end of the rainbow is your crown activation. Yes, well, that can't be bought. Climbing Jacob's ladder cannot be bought. So every color of that rung to climb, you got to fix your vessel to acquire the next rung. So that's the level up system within your own being. Yes. Yes, very much so. And that's why I teach energetics in my Empowering You to Self-Mastery first. I dismantle the fear in them first. Why? Because without doing that, there's no way that they can climb Jacob's ladder. That's the first rung, is the root. You got to be rooted in yourself for that kundalini to rise. And without that, no. 1 ounce of fear destroys all of that. So every time you're scared to speak up and tell people what you feel or what you want, guess what? You're dismantling your complete flow of energy through you. Yeah, your organs don't get what they need. No, because your energy is not spinning through your being the way it should. And that's why you always have to flow in truth. Because if not, you decapitate your own being energetically. And that's when belief systems must govern you, because you can't govern you. And that's how it does. And your body will play keep away. Keep you away from your own power, because you operate out of the heart space. You see? Well, if you're decapitating yourself with lies, well, then there's no brain-heart coherence. They don't work together. So then they fight against each other for connection. But people distract themselves from that. They're too busy numbing that. They're too busy distracting themselves from it. They're too busy worrying about what everybody else is doing, and they cannot watch what they're doing. No. So the lack of the connection between the two keeps the instinctual brain a hyper amygdala response of fear. Yeah. Because your heart space is your truest brain. And that is what's supposed to send the signals to everything else. Well, if you've decapitated the connection and cut the connection between the two, well, then it leaves your backup brains, because you have an instinctual reptilian brain, you've got your emotional centers, and then you've got your logical thinking. Well, the energy pumped through all of that comes from the heart instinctual response first. All the time. And if you can't stay in your heart space, you push your own body into survival mode. And that's the pressure that you put on yourself and leak. You see that? Look, it's still leaking. Okay? But pressure, look, you get to a point where you put pressure, but those holes are just blowing air. You see? You got to fix your vessel. You got to hold the frequency. You got to make sure that you don't have an ounce of fear. And that's not being, oh yeah, oh great. Yes, thank you, boss. Somebody said to me, so Tobi, well, being fearless, isn't that being arrogant and cocky? No, that's maybe what you were told it was. But being fearless is literally giving your own body safety and security. The minute that you're running on fear, fear is what's operating you. So any fear. Fear of what people think. So fear of the first two fears that were implanted in your programming were fear of the disapproval of your parents. Yes, because you always strive to make them happy. Fear of punishment, because every time they get mad, they punish you. Okay? Those are the first two fears that you deal with. And then, fear of what other people think. Because then your parents start telling you to hold their secrets for them. In what way? Well, don't tell grandma that this happened in the house. Don't tell auntie or uncle that this happened. Keep this in the house. Stay quiet. What happens in the house stays in the house. That installs in a child a fear of what other people think. Yes. And then the patterns of people pleasing set in naturally because you were always seeking to please your parents first and your grandparents and to be loved and approved and accepted, because you were taught that to be loved, approved, and accepted, you had to be not you. And that's why it's so important to go into your vessel and fix the fucking holes. Yeah. Well, I teach people how to do it. Well, I got to maintain a certain flow and a frequency in order to show others. And it was great to know that somebody thanked me for believing in them and maintaining that belief in them before they could believe in themselves. Yeah, you hang out with me and yes, you'll start to believe in you. Because that's just the way I flow. You see, this is when you get to a state where you've reached the peace that surpasses all understanding, you're ready for whatever. Everybody thinks, being angry is your strongest state. Actually, no, it's not. That's your poison. Why get angry? Angry for what? Somebody let you down? According to what? Your own expectations? No, that's not on them. That's on what you expected. Well, expecting things from people always leads you to disappointment. Don't expect anything from anybody but your own self. Number one. And that's how I flow daily too. I don't expect anything. Nothing. Why? Because I have all and everything flowing through me. So what am I expecting from anybody? Nothing. Nothing. Expectations lead to disappointments. Why? Because what you expect and create in your own brain, it only exists in your own brain. Nobody else gets that. They don't know that. They don't feel that. So how could they live up to that? They can't. And then when you get to that arrival moment of, do you see that it isn't what you expected it to be? That's not their fault. That's what you created in your own mind for it to be. You see? No. I don't expect anything from anybody but my own self. And I can expect me to be me, and everybody else that's the only thing that they can expect from me, is that I'm going to be me, and nothing but. And that comes with a lot. Yeah, it does. So yes, the questions, I'm very grateful because it fuels the flow. Thank you for sharing such good content. You know what? I'm really grateful. I'm really grateful. I have to share the truth. But not a lot of people can handle it, Lily, because they're not ready for it. People are still reacting, taking shit personal, taking whatever. I don't know what goes on in people's brains, but I love it when I have like-minded hearts around me, okay? I love you. But I have to share the truth because we're in a big time of change energetically. And bringing that up, somebody did ask about, Tobi, are we really in a new earth frequency? Yes, we are. The charts prove it. So everything that we've been living on for the past 100 years that was built on fear, shame, guilt, lust. Because if you don't see what keeps everybody locked in their 3 chakras, their lowered self, their lustful ways, it's all of the system. Yeah, that keeps people lusting and keeps people longing and keeps people fearful and keeps people, yeah, it's not even their own, they've been conditioned and programmed to do that, feel that, and operate like that. But no, energetics is correcting it, because love is a corrective force. Love is correcting this planet. Yes, it is. And the tides have changed. So that means the way that the water has flowed, because there's always a current, has reversed. So what's going to happen? Well, everything that's frozen currently is getting zapped by salt water. So it's thawing everything. Things are going back to the original way. Why? Because people don't realize, but this has been a reversal of the way things truly are. So now we're going back to the way things should be. Energetically first. And the shifting of the poles and the shifting of the tides proves these are the times where the last shall be first, and the first shall be last, and the meek shall inherit the earth. Yes. Like I just mentioned not too long ago, it took me 9 years to crown activate, no matter what I was living. Yeah, and love myself back to life. So somebody asked me too, Tobi, what makes you different about all of these coaches out here and about all of these, you know what makes me different? Is because coaches use questions and ask you, what would you like? What would you love to bring to life in your whatever? And they use what you would love and hold you accountable and pull out of you what you'd like. Being a self-mastery mentor? Nah, I've done it. This is what you must do to acquire the same for you. That's what makes me different. Here it is. Perfect system. And I'm the walking testimony of its proof. Well, no, it's not about, no. You know what? I don't care what your story is. You want total healing? You want crown activation? I can show you how to do it. Yeah. I have a perfect system that worked for me. And it's worked for many now. Perfect system. Well, that's a choice for people too. So thanks for the question about what makes me different than a coach. No, I'm not a life coach. I'm a self-mastery mentor. You want to master your energy? You want to fix your vessel? You want to step into the most powerful, energetic flow? You want to fix your biofield so that you're whole and you're uninfluenceable? Well, then that's what I do. And I don't accept anything less from anybody that I work with. No. It's, do you want your fullest capacity and your highest potential or not? Because me, doesn't matter if you do or you don't. I'm flowing from it. Literally. So, but I do have a perfect system to ensure that you acquire it for yourself also. And once you do, I've got the next couple of systems set up for you to master what's next after that and master the gifts that you're entitled to that come already with your soul. Yeah, that's what I do. So that's what makes me different. I don't play yo-yo with anybody. It's, do you want this? Because this is what I bring. Nothing less. And I want everybody to hold the exact same frequency as I do. Crown activation. Nothing less. Because that's who they were born to be. That's who they are. Well, I'm like the demolition crew. For all the belief systems, for the fear, the shame, the blame, the guilt, the denial, the lust, the lies, the illusions, and the ego. I'm like the demolition crew for Source. But I had to take the time to demolish all of that within me first. And know the perfect way to do it. To acquire what I've done. And yes, once you've acquired it, you stay out of your body's way. You know that you're love first. You're nothing but love. So you're not defending anything. And you're not allowing anybody to influence you. Because there is nobody living in your skin. Do you wake up in anybody else's body? No. So then there's nobody outside of you that can tell you about you. And trust me, I've been called so many fucking names in this lifetime, you don't even know. Oh my God, I've been called every single name in the book. Over and over and over and over again. Guess what? That was never worse than what I used to do to myself. You see? Well, you gotta fix that. Fix that. Fix that. Because half the time, we're more cruel to our own being than others are. And then that's why we allow people to be cruel to us. It's because we're cruel to our own selves. Yeah. Well, you got to love yourself. No matter what. And that's how you love yourself back to life. Okay, I'm being called to come back to the New Earth frequency. Okay, there was a question about the New Earth frequency. Yes, the New Earth frequency is here. It's shifting everything. What does that mean? Well, we're going to go into a time of chaos, confusion, and conflict. Why? Because everything that was ever built in this reality on the frequency of fear, shame, blame, lust, victimhood mentality, and keep people there is going to be washed away. It's going to crumble. It'll go bankrupt. The tides have changed. Now, energy is your first currency. Well, if you're tapped into your first currency, which is you, you're going to realize the tides are changing for you too. Okay? Well, the tides are changing for all. The ways that once worked to satisfy convenience and keep people locked into victimhood and that mentality are going. Those who can't operate on love will not exist for too much longer. No matter what the system is, no matter what the entity is, no matter what the society is, no matter what, it doesn't matter. The tides have changed. Now, with the tides changing and the energetics changing it, guess what? Well, just like you got to change your clothes for the seasons, just like you got to change your ways, your tires to accommodate, just the same way. Well, guess what? You've got to change you to accommodate your transition into New Earth frequency. And people that are not loving themselves right now, they're feeling it. And that's all they're feeling. They may call it sickness. They may call it chronic illness. They may call it anxiety, depression. They may call it alcoholism. They may call it addiction. They may call it whatever it is that they call it is going to be amplified now. Because that's the choice of their own unloving acceptance and permissions. So, no matter what you want to call it, everybody's choices now are going to be amplified. Why? Because the times have changed. The tides have changed. The energies have changed. And anybody that's resisting that for themselves is feeling the backlash of their own choices. So it may look like sickness, it may look like anxiety, it may look like depression, but they'll never fix it as long as they're shoving shit in their mouth from a doctor who is there to keep you sick. No, and I'll be the one to say it. They get kickbacks from pharmaceutical companies for prescriptions and for all kinds of stuff. So let's get real with that. And if your body, all it can do is heal, everything that you put in your body is plugging it up even more. Okay? There's a natural way for everything. Absolutely everything. But the first thing that causes distortion in the body and illness and sickness is energetic distortion. Your organ's not getting the energy that it needs. So it starts to buck. Doesn't work right. Lowered energy. Living in fear. Constant adrenaline state. Amygdala, hyperactive. And what happens in those hyperactive amygdala states, you get desensitized to it. Because if you sat there and you rubbed yourself in the same spot, you wouldn't feel it in 5 minutes. Because the constant rub of the same spot, you get desensitized to it. Just like pain. Yeah. So if you're carrying around painful stories and painful things, well, you get desensitized to your own pain. Because that's how you've been rubbing yourself. Emotionally. This is why you got to take time for you and fix you. Fix your vessel. Fix the things that you think, say, and do towards you. Who are you when nobody's watching? That's what matters. How do you treat yourself? Are you too busy distracting yourself being the savior to everybody else because you can't be the savior to yourself? I know what that feels like. And I lived with that mentality going, okay, well, if I can't make my life any better and if I just have to beat death all the time and I can't acquire, well, then I'll help everybody else. No, fuck that. You got to do you first. Or you're no good for anybody else. But what are you doing for you? Look at all of the time. Let's go back to budgeting your energetic bank. When you're looking at those statements of your energy and where do you put your energy? Is it a deposit to your well-being or a withdrawal? You have to look at it. Well, that's how you budget your energetic bank. How can you tell the difference? Well, because wherever you go and you put your energy, what do you walk away with? Do you feel joyful? Do you feel happy? Do you feel like, whoo, rejuvenated? That was awesome. Well, that's a deposit to your well-being. If you walk away going, fuck, I'm drained. I'm not going back there again. Well, that's a withdrawal to your life force. And you just left yourself connected to everything that drained your energy in the interaction. Unless you call your power back, cut the fucking cord. They can suck your life force like you gave them a straw. And that's why, no, I don't hang out anymore. No, I'm okay with me. If there's a thing or a what, sure, why not? But do I go out of my way to be out of my house? No, I don't. Listen, I'm good with me, with my knowing, with my peaceful state, with my body that is just feeling the effects of me loving myself. Yes. I budget my energetic bank. Another question somebody said, Toby, with all of the energy work that you do you ever feel depleted or spiritually burned out? No. You know why? Because when you're an overflowing cup, well, then anybody could come and take some for themselves and it doesn't affect your flow because they're taking from your overflow. And you should not be giving to anybody in this life unless you are giving from an overflow. or you are causing depletion. So thanks for the question, but no, I don't get burnt out. I respect what my body tells me. Like today, I slept until 12:30. And tomorrow, I'll probably do the same. Why do I have to get up if my body doesn't want to? I allow my body to talk. And I sleep when I want to sleep. It's me and the dog here. And now I'm working 7 days a week. So, listen, I'm good with a good sleep. My body knows how to operate. And when you're in an overflow, you are not depleting yourself. No, because of my one rule. I don't work. No, so I tell you all that I work 7 days a week because so you could understand the theory of what I do. But do I work? No. The only work that I do is on myself. Research, maintaining my overflow, making sure I'm always keeping up to the times, making sure I'm up to the energetic news of what's going on around the world. I make sure I'm in with the energetics. That's what I'm watching. I don't watch what people do. I'm watching what the graphs are doing. The energies, the facts of what's going on. I don't get them from TV. I don't get them from social media. I get them from the energy grid of this planet and what's hitting it. There's a global picture. And I know what's hitting us. Source love. Well, anybody that can't embody their own source love that fuels them can't match the frequency of the alignment. So they're getting pushed out of it. This is what you all need to realize when it's the New Earth frequency. The New Earth frequency is what? The 3-1 Atlas that came through our solar system changed the energy. The tides were already changed before that. Yes, they were. Look it up. If you don't believe me, what I'm saying, look it up and do the research. Do the research for yourself. Take the time and go and look up these things. The changing of the tides. Three-one Atlas. The comet that came through. Go and look up Schumann resonance. Go and look up all of the things that I talk about. And look up the changes. Huge spikes on the graph, even today. Yeah. You see, that's what happens, the harmonics. It goes into a lull for a couple of days, and then we get these whopper energies. Why doesn't it... Okay, this is another thing. Somebody asked me, okay, so if we're transitioning and the planet's ascending, why does the Schumann resonance go into these lulls and then these big blasts? Because it's tension, pressure, and then you have to rest and digest, integration. And then again, boom, activation, rest and digest. Boom, activation. Why? Because people are the only thing that are parasitic on the planet. And if it whaps too hard, nobody will make it. It's too much of a change energetically. So everything that we've been living for the past many, many years, I can't even say just a couple, is all catalytic for what's going to happen. And I hear the great solar flash. Once that happens, it's the end of the world as we know it. It's the end of the world as we know it. Why? Because systems will not be able to handle that frequency. I don't know about y'all, but my phone has been glitching like a motherfucker today. Somebody said, Tobi, I got your voice recording, the message that you sent me, and it all came out in numbers. My phone wouldn't let me send a picture today. Listen, tech is messing up, okay? Listen, once we have that great solar flash, I'm hearing that's the true return. Because that great solar flash is going to be like the same frequency as crown activation. and in between heart coherence and crown activation. And the connection in people that needs to be made so that when they keep getting zapped with all of this ancient codes and energetic force, because that's what's happening, that their energy can flow without distortion. And if they've decapitated themselves from their own flow, they're not going to be able to hold the frequency in their vessel. No, you've got to do the work for what's happening. And those who are aware and have done the work and are leading others to do this level of work, they know what's happening in the world. They know why they must do this. You know, I call myself an earth angel. Yes, I do. Why? Because I am one. But what does that truly mean? I'm a messenger of truth. That's what that means. And what is the truth of all things? Love. Divine connection. It's love that connects us all. It's love that connects you to your experience, for you to project it. Well, are you loving yourself to that same equilibrium? Are you giving yourself all that you need? That's not selfish. You must do that to maintain your flow for you. Don't expect anybody to do that for you. Nobody can. Nobody knows what you need. Do you realize that? You know, we sit back and we blame people for not doing certain things. Oh, well, they didn't do this, or they didn't do that, or they didn't. Stop letting your mood alter because of you leaning on, like, do what, you know, that my grandmother installed in me. And my mother. Never ask somebody to do for you what you can do for yourself. Never. And that's why I don't ask people. Nope. Unless I must. And even the other day, when they did the kitchen, and I hired somebody to do the painting in the kitchen. I did it myself. And told them forget it the next day. Because I realized, no, I can do this. And I did it. Well, when you can lean on your own being, do it. Do it. When you need some help, look for it. But don't expect anybody to realize what you need without speaking up. You need to speak up so others will know truly, because nobody's in your skin. Nobody knows what you're feeling. Nobody knows what you're thinking. No, that's for you. Well, you also have to speak up about your needs. And a lot of people won't do that because they're scared of disapproval and judgment. Well, not me. But I don't need anything. It's another thing. I really don't. You see, you know what? Your transition from ostrich to eagle, one of my books, I operated as the ostrich. I avoided. I hid. All of the characteristics, I did all of that. I did it all. So when I come out and I tell you all about certain things, it's only what I've lived, what I've learned. I have to share it. 25 books, it's for empowerment for the world. My coloring books, my children's books, all the way up to the memory recall. Yes, for seniors. Actually, this is what my golden treasure box of moments, that's what the coloring book looks like in the link. And what is it? It's memory recall for seniors. Okay? And what did I open it to? What is your favorite outdoor place? Where do you go to relax? But it's a coloring book. And it takes them back to moments that they were loving themselves in life. No matter how old they are. Can you remember your favorite book? What was the title? And why? It's a conversation starter. It's to love your seniors back to life with this one. Okay? Let's see what else we open it on. Oh, can you remember the shoes from the 1930s? But this one's not my final edit. This is the proof copy that I did corrections. So if you see like 1930s, the final cut has 1930s with the zero. What were your favorite? You know? And what was your favorite treat? What was your favorite treat? But I changed this, like, because these were not the final edits. But it does look like this. And it's unlock your treasures of your heart and mind. Yes. A personal invitation from me. Step into a world of joy, reflection, and wonder with my golden treasure box of moments. But it's designed to help you relive the golden memories of your life. Whether you're 65 or 95, this book is a gentle, joyful journey through the experiences that shaped you and the people and moments that made your life so rich. Yes. What was your favorite holiday memory? And where did you celebrate it? Tellement beau. Merci. I have to go. Thank you for your investment here. I will buy one of your books, and the treasure book for my mom, I will translate it for her. Awesome. It's a great conversation starter. It really is. It really is. It really is. And anybody who wants the F.L.O.W one, I don't have a copy of the F.L.O.W one because, oh yes I do. Hi, look at that. F.L.O.W. Feel Love Over Worry coloring book. Wow, what's this one? This one's for kids. And, boom, my energy is magic. Yes. I feel joy in my heart. Why? Because installing these things, I breathe in calm and I breathe out peace. You see? I am a light in the world. Yes. So this is the F.L.O.W coloring book. My voice matters. Yes. I belong exactly as I am. Yeah. Yeah. I'm really proud of this one. My heart knows the way. And I am safe to be myself. Yeah. So this is my feelings are important, but I carry peace with me. You see? Yes. I am a creator. Yes, let them know. Yes. So anybody, Christmas is coming, guys. You know, this could easily roll up into a stocking stuffer. Yes. An awesome, empowering coloring book. Yes. So yes, this one I did, actually. Somebody said, where did the F.L.O.W come from? 21 Days to F.L.O.W, Feel Love Over Worry, my book, my system of 21 days. Well, this is what I took that from. Yes. See? It says on the back, it's a sacred extension of the transformational workbook, 21 Days to F.L.O.W. Yes. Anyway. But you guys really have to look at that neural default network of your brain and look at the patterns of what you're paying yourself, your energy into, what you are. You know, everybody budgets their finances, but they never look at how they're spending their energy. And that's your first wealth and your truest currency. And everything is either a withdrawal or a deposit in your well-being. It's either taken away from you or it's bringing joy to you. Simple as that. Well, look at how you feel when you leave places. Look at how you feel. Look how others and interaction with others make you feel. Because you're giving it permissions. It's nobody making you feel anyway. except for that default network of your brain. Yeah. So what's in this budgeting your energetic bank? Well, let me tell you your energetic bank, identifying your energetic sources and drains, thoughts, speech, and actions being deposits or withdrawals, relationships and interactions, how they affect your bank, situations and circumstances, emotions and inner states, crafting your energetic bank, no IOUs, no credit, and no 50% off policy when it comes to your energy. No. And then there's questions, a prompted question workbook. So let's go to the 32. So what's the importance of enforcing a no IOUs, no credit, and no 50% off policy for your energetic budget? Understanding your energetic budget. Crafting your energetic budget is a vital step towards maintaining a balanced and fulfilling life. The budget involves strategically allocating your energy towards activities, people, and environments that replenish and uplift you, while managing and minimizing the elements that drain and deplete your energy. Once you have crafted your energetic budget, it is crucial to enforce a strict policy of no IOUs, no credit, and no 50% off to ensure that your energy is used wisely and respectfully. Here's why this is essential. Respecting your energy. Your energy is precious. Your energy is a finite resource that powers your physical, emotional, and mental well-being. Respecting your energy means recognizing its value and not allowing it to be depleted by sources that do not contribute positively to your life. Commitment to self-care. By enforcing this policy, you are committing to self-care and prioritizing your well-being. This commitment is a form of self-respect and acknowledges that your energy deserves to be protected and nurtured. Maintaining balance and preventing burnout. In order to do so, well, you have to avoid overdrafts. Just like a financial budget, an energetic budget can go into overdraft if not managed properly. Allowing others to borrow your energy without replenishing it can lead to chronic depletion and eventually burnout. Well, ensuring sustainability is a big part of it. A strict policy ensures that energy levels may remain sustainable by preventing unauthorized withdrawals. You maintain a balance that supports your long-term well-being and productivity. Well, preserving your life force and creative power. That's managing your true wealth. Your maximizing potential. Your life force and creative power are essential for achieving your highest potential. When you allow your energy to be drained by unworthy sources, you diminish your capacity to create, innovate, and excel. Focused use of energy. By keeping your energy for your own disposal, you can focus on activities that truly matter and align with your goals and values. This focused use of energy leads to greater fulfillment and success. Listen, And it goes on to establishing healthy boundaries, empowering yourself, protecting against energy vampires, promoting mutual respect and reciprocity. That word is just so, yeah. Anyway, encouraging fair exchanges of energy, quality over quantity, setting the example, identifying your non-negotiables. Proactive, assertive communication. It's all in my book, Budgeting Your Energetic Bank. And at the end of it, well, you've got questions. Yes. Like, what emotions do you experience most frequently? How do they impact your energy? When you notice energy draining emotions, what strategies can you use to shift towards more positive emotions? But after reading my book, these are all things you'll be able to answer. Anyway, I take all the learning that I've ever had and I pump it into the world to empower everybody to flow, to feel their love over worry. And the energies right now that are shifting this planet are going to shift the entirety of humanity also. So what side of the fence are you on? Are you shifting with humanity? Or are you being washed out by love? How can you tell? How do you feel? And if you're too busy distracting yourself from what you truly feel, well, then you'll never figure that out either. So, no, I don't run from what I feel. No. And I don't encourage anybody to. I distracted myself for so long. Operated my life according to what everybody else believed and wanted for me. I never had the handle on me. Now that I do, oh boy, I fixed my vessel, blocked those holes, blocked all the energy leakages, and learned how to manage my energy enough to love myself back to life. No matter what I was up against. And still acquired crown activation. Well, a lot of things came at me to stop that. Well, a lot of people were busy trying to make bank. I was trying to hit the true pot of gold at the end of the rainbow. Yeah. And I've acquired it. And that's where I'm leading others to. And once you realize that abundance, nothing else can shake you from it. It doesn't matter what another is thinking, doing, and saying. You know, because you've hit the true gold. What's the true gold? The all-knowing power of all and everything. That's the same flow that you had when you were born. Well, you stayed in that flow until you were literally convinced it was not okay. You started to believe what everybody didn't like about you. And that's why you don't like things about you. It's not what you learn to hate yourself, fuck. Stop doing that. You learn to be fearful. You learn to be silent. You learn to be a people pleaser. Where are you in all of that? How many hours in a day do you take care of everybody else? Well, how many hours in a day do you devote to you and taking care of you and loving you and respecting you? Because nobody else can do that for you. The only way to be loved more in this life is to do it for your own fucking ass. And I'll say it. And I realize that for myself too. Nobody could love me the way that I could love me. Nobody could do for me what I did for myself. And nobody was involved or helped me do it either. That's why I am how I am. Do I care? Not at all. And I budget my energetic bank. And you know what? That's the work that I do to maintain my flow. Okay? And that's it. I don't work. I really don't. I deliver love. Hey, yo, sunshine. So true, but it's true. You got to do it for you. Nobody else. Nobody can love you And we all, oh, well, you know, if I do this for them, they're going to love me or like me. No, fuck all that. That's all in your own head. It's can you love you? Can you like you? That's all that matters. Doesn't matter who thinks what, says what, does what. It's not your business. Even with, right? Yeah. You got to love you. You got to respect you. You got to have those energetic budget. Know where to put your energy, and know where not to. Because of how it makes you feel. You got to respect that. Because if you're not respecting what the body's telling you, then you won't respect what anything's being said to you. But really, it's what you tell you that really matters. And I used to beat myself up like a motherfucker. Worse than I ever fucked up anybody else, I tell you that. And you know, yeah, when I think about it, you know, the only time I've ever really fucked somebody up is when I was defending myself anyway. Is he? I never went out of my way to hurt anybody. No. Even after they'd done me wrong. No, that's not how my heart operates. Yeah, I've been angry. Yeah, I've been fucking wanted to... I know what it's like to want to fucking hurt people. Yes. Have I done it? Oh, yes, I have. But only in defense for my own vehicle. It's like playing bumper cars, you know? When you know somebody's coming to ram you, you gotta fucking ram their ass harder. It's like bumper cars. But when you're doing it as a ball of love, because that's what I do. Listen, you know, it doesn't matter what I've lived. I budget my energetic bank. I give me all that I need. I don't need another living, breathing soul to give me shit. I got this. Nobody could assist me to do what I've done. Nobody. No. But from where I sit now, in my knowing and in my loving myself and knowing how powerful that is, being tapped into and flowing from the state of love that fuels me, the energies are shifting, people. And it's funny because I have a pinned reel of me sitting in the Lachine Canal, actually 32nd, down by the lighthouse with my feet in the water, with my selenite wand. And I commanded the water to go back to its original state. And after that, I heard a lot of talk about the oceans changing. And the tides and the currents changing, you know. Yeah. I'm not going to say I was the one that did it. But I certainly helped. Yeah. But change is here. Change is here. And what I believe possible is all and everything is possible. Through the power of love, everything is possible. And you can turn everything and anything around with the power of love. Yes, you can. I'm living, breathing proof of it. And nobody can love you more than what's fueling you for life. But do you respect that? Do you use that? Do you allow that to be your operating system? Because a lot of people think they're love and they're loving individuals when they're really not. They can't even love themselves right, never mind another. And you hear it in the way that they talk about themselves. You hear it in the way they talk about others. You hear it in the way that, and you know, it was tonight was awesome. Why? Because when I was leaving the residence tonight, there was somebody who's another resident there, their daughter said, you know, Tobi, I see how you operate. And yes, you're here for him, but you change everybody's life in here. There's nobody that is not worthy of a word or not worthy of help or not worthy of... I said, no. Everybody's the same. And titles don't matter. Especially when you're operating from love. And you know that every single person walking is a ball of love and joy underneath any way that they treat themselves and others. Under that, they're love. Even if they've forgotten, I still have remembered. So, yes, everybody matters because I'm connected to all beings. And respecting that connection is what assists me to impact those that need it. Literally. But no, y'all, if you didn't see that water example, go back and watch it. If any of you are walking around traumatized from shit that happened in your childhood, in your adolescence, in your adulthood, yo, I can help you fix that shit, eh? You better take that shit serious and get on the mend. Or make your fucking arrangements so your kids won't have to. Because if you're sick now, it's only going to get worse fast. Do you want to fix that for yourself? Because nothing made you sick but you. Well, nothing will make you better but you. And you have to reverse it. Well, I'm living proof that you can. So, yes, I have the system to do it. And no, I'm not. Yes, I may have to put personal coach. But no, I'm not a coach. I'm a mentor. I've walked it. I know it. I breathe it. I flow from it. Yeah. And I can show you how to do the same. I love y'all. Have a great night. Peace.